Less conversation and a lot more killing.
Murder spree.
You think you're doing some damage? I honestly, truly didn't think to fall for that.
Hello, fellow Araxians. Well, Nanite Systems has opened up their armory, and a new bullpup submachine gun has hit the fields of Araxis. Today, we're going to put the NS-66 Punisher through its paces and determine if you, soldier, need to add it to your arsenal. Now, this weapon was commissioned originally by the Terran Republic from Nanite Systems when it was still a very young government. The Terran Republic was having issues with uprisings from freedom fighters. This wasn't some enemy nation that they could just send an army after. These fighters were loose and spread out through the population. So the Terran Republic, as a naive young government, formed a Gestapo-ish force to try to hunt these perpetrators down. Shortly after the program began, the Terran Republic figured out that sending enforcers in, nicknamed the Punishers by civilians, that were wielding weaponry that had fragmentation grenades as part of their arsenal, wasn't a good way to deal with civil unrest. When this force dissolved, the Terran Republic stopped buying, and so the NS-66 platform was binned for quite some time. Many years later, a young engineer at Nanite Systems, who was a huge Terran Republic history buff, spurred on by his curiosity to learn more about the Punishers, dug up the specs and schematics for this platform. Nanite Systems knew the factions were looking for weapons with a lot more versatility, and the fact that the NS-66 already had an underbarrel launcher built into it was the perfect opportunity. They didn't have to redesign or create a new weapon. All they had to do was develop some new munitions. And so the adaptive underbarrel launcher was born, and Nanite Systems had a weapon it could sell to every faction and to any soldier, no matter what class he played or specialized in. Not surprisingly, it's been a huge hit on the battlefield. Let's dive into the details and attachments of the weapon, and then we'll spend a little bit more time on how to play it. This submachine gun sends rounds down range at 769 rounds per minute for a max damage of 143. Maximum damage range is out to 8 meters for the base model weapon, falling off to a minimum damage of 84 at 75 meters. Now that's something to really take note of. With most faction-specific SMGs, they reach their minimum damage at a much closer range, making those weapons feel like they can't be used past CQC engagements. The Punisher, however, is very capable in medium-range engagements. Its muzzle velocity is 350 meters per second and has 25 rounds per magazine. Its accuracy stats are identical to the NS-7 PDW, the platform it's based off of. Okay, we've been through the numbers. Let's check out the attachments. For scopes, you can pick up a 1x, a 3.4x, a 2x, and an infravision scope. Here's the thing, guys. The iron sights on this one are amazing. They're basically a reflex sight, just a better version of the Mountain RF almost. So check each one of them out, but don't feel weird if you decide you just like the iron sights. Standard barrel attachments are available: compensator, flash suppressor, and suppressor. Now, some of the Doku weapons had some pretty unique traits on some of these attachments. That's not the case here. Their advantages and penalties are all pretty standard. Okay, let's jump over to the rail slot. This is the first weapon that allows you to equip 2 attachments to the rail. You can get your extended magazine to add 5 rounds, or a dark light. Myself, I'm a laser sight guy on an SMG. Then for the second rail slot, you have 2 options. You cannot attach the adaptive class underbarrel launcher, and the weapon still includes an underbarrel launcher. It's just standard fragmentation grenades no matter what class you're using. The other, more common option is to include the adaptive class underbarrel launcher, and then it fires certain grenades based on what class you are using. No need to do anything to get the right type of grenade. The adaptive class underbarrel always works based on what class you are. And we're going to swing back and spend most of our time on that, but I want to go over the ammo real quick. You do have the option for both high velocity and soft point ammunition, so you can decide to bump your max damage range up to 13 meters, or run your minimum damage range all the way out to 95 meters and really make this a mid-range weapon. The damage curve with HVA goes from 143 at 6 meters to 84 at 95 meters. That is an impressively long damage fall-off curve. Here's the thing though, guys, if you plot it out, soft point is in the blue, high velocity is in the red. Setting aside the changes in projectile velocity, which are not very large in either direction, high velocity doesn't become a better option until you're engaging targets at around 30 meters. And in general, guys, if you're engaging targets past 30 meters with your SMG, just go get a different weapon. So the numbers are going to say soft point ammunition in most situations. Now I wanted to spend some time showing you the recoil pattern in game, but the settings that leave impact marks were leading to crash to desktops when I was using this weapon. So I apologize, you'll just have to visualize the impact marks. But the bottom line, guys, is it's an SMG. It's super easy to handle. And you are seeing the iron sight in use here. It looks almost exactly like a 1x red dot, doesn't it? So let's swing back to the super unique trait of this weapon. That is the adaptive class underbarrel launcher. The Infiltrator gets a version of the EMP. It has a much smaller radius than the grenade, and it does no damage to shields. But it kills deployables, and it scrambles the enemy's HUD. What's so great about this thing is it means you can clear that prox mine around the corner, or clear a spawn beacon, without having to throw away your grenade and still get resupplied by an engineer. So you can save that EMP grenade as long as possible. Next, we have the Light Assault. Their arsenal includes an impulse grenade. Now, it won't do it in VR, but it will knock back enemies, and it will throw you into the air. There is certainly trolling potential for knocking infiltrators off towers. In my Light Assault experience, I didn't pull it out that often. Next, we have the Medic. It has a terrific support grenade. It includes a heal, and it reduces the effects of concussion grenades and flash grenades. Having a heal that can be resupplied on an ammo pack is a big bonus. And it's the Medic's first ability to combat non-frag grenades. Their grenade is a repair over time, and it increases the maximum health of the vehicle or the max it affects. You can see here with the effect on, the Sunder has 5,500 health, and when it wears off, it falls back to its standard 5,000. While making this video, there is a bug on live that can cause this effect to stay on permanently. Some people know how to trigger it, and some people don't even know what happens to them. Rogue Planet Games let us know they are working on a fix for it right now. Okay, and the final class is the Heavy Assault. Their Punisher launches a grenade that stops repairs to that mechanical unit. The effects on all of these grenades are very cool, especially if you're running on Ultra. And while I've messed around with all the others, I have not put this one to use on live. I find a Decimator and a few headshots is the better way to go with a Heavy Assault. Okay, fellow Araxians, there's the stats. Maybe you've already made your decision on whether or not you're going to add this into your arsenal. But I want to spend some time talking about playing an SMG specifically. Some of you may not have a lot of experience with this weapon type. Now, for me, I love playing SMG on infiltrators. Infiltrators are limited, that they don't have carbines, ARs, LMGs, so they don't really have those mobile automatic weapon platform. SMG completely changes that game. You can be aggressive and invisible with highly mobile and automatic. Now, if you're a medic, shoot grenades at your friendlies when the enemy pushes. If you're an engineer, shoot grenades at your tanks and maxes when the enemy pushes. And otherwise, generally play the SMG like a hipfire carbine or a hipfire AR. There's not a whole lot of extra I can really add to it. But the SMG Infiltrator is very unique. So I'm going to spend a little bit of additional time bringing you up to speed on that one in case that's how you want to do the NS-66 Punisher. Now there's two SMG infill modes, the sneaky or the aggro. The loadout you're watching here is the sneaky loadout. You are a glass cannon. It depends heavily on killing your enemy before they know where you are. But you don't have the extra survivability of nano weave armor, you don't have the survivability of nano cloak, and you don't have the extra 100 health that comes along with it. But you sprint super fast, you're silenced so you don't show up on the minimap when shooting, and you've got sensor shield so you show up much less on recon devices. On top of staying off the minimap, you're using Hunter Cloak, which means you have huge uptime and it recharges extremely fast. So you can nearly indefinitely be invisible. Never hesitate to pause and crouch somewhere to let the recharge timer on your shield run out. You are as invisible as a stalker cloak with it while you're immobile. The number one rule of this loadout is stay off the minimap. And the second rule is don't fight on the front line. Or I guess I should say don't fight on your side of the front line. You're going to notice here, everyone I'm taking them out as they run up when they're unprepared to fight. They think they are still in the back line, just trying to make it to the battle. And I'm coming up on them either from behind or from the side, where I can engage them and basically have them dead before they even know the engagement began. Staying off the minimap is easy enough with the silencer. The next big thing is to make sure your movements stay unpredictable, so your enemies can't kind of guess the rounds you are making through their back lines. And if they do find you, juke hard to get out of there. Staying out of sight can be done pretty well with the Hunter Cloak. It has plenty charge and recharges fast. I throw Assimilate in there, which is going to keep my shield and invis up on headshot kills. I prefer darts on this loadout. What I don't like about the motion spotters is your enemy expects you to be operating in 25 to 50 meters of that spotter, right? Or else it's not doing you any good. When you put a dart out there, you could be sitting right on top of it, and the enemy doesn't really expect you to be there because you could have moved on. So it plays in very well to not leaving a trace of where you are, where you're going, where you've been. This sort of sneaky but aggressive gameplay is super fun, really gets the blood flowing. But every now and then, you need to just back out of there just to get all the weapons reloaded, finally top off your health, and throw people off the scent that are inevitably looking around for you among their back lines. Now I want to pause and give a quick shout out to this infiltrator running by real quick. You probably saw him pop up on my kill feed a couple times, catching the dangerous end of my Derringer, Jumpy K. He was so close 4 times, and I was either able to pull a quick pistol or my friendlies saved me on that one. But finally, after his relentless assault, staying after me like a homing missile, he got me down. Congrats on that bounty, Jumpy K. Guys, the other option is you give up some of your speed and invisibility time for health. And I'm sorry guys, I just realized I didn't clip any of that play, and that's because most of my time is spent in the sneaky loadout. But with Nano Armor Cloak, you get 100 extra health, so you're just as durable as any other class. And while you're invisible, you can take a beating. On top of that, I run Nano Weave Armor, so you have the same small arms resistances as other classes. And then I usually run a combination of Assimilate and then Cat-like or Athlete. Silencer can work against you on this loadout. You're durable enough that you may want to pop out and just fight someone head on. So when playing that, I just commit to the fact that they're probably going to know where I am on the minimap. So guys, final take is, it's a terrific weapon. I know everyone would like more than just one weapon every so often, but the beauty of this weapon is it's SMG, so no matter what class people like to play, they can buy it. It's NS, so no matter what faction they play, even if it's NS Ops, they can buy it. And with the adaptive launcher, if someone mains a class, it feels like it was made just for them. It really is the ultimate crowd pleaser weapon. And its time to kill is either better than or comparable to other top tier submachine guns. Final word for me is this will be a permanent addition to my loadout, especially on the infiltrator. Not having to waste the EMP grenades is really nice. The medic will definitely make use of it on the point holding loadout. Once the engineer bug is fixed, I can definitely see using it there as well. Having a repair grenade that can be resupplied by the engineer's own ammo pack will be awesome. A heavy and light assault won't get quite as much use for me because I like the carbines, and I find maxes go down better with a high magazine sized LMG and a decimator rather than fumbling for a submachine gun grenade. Okay, fellow Araxians, that's it for now. Hope those of you that have been putting it to use are having a lot of fun. I've had lots of requests for weapon reviews on basically everything, and I'm going to work hard to get them all to you. More of this very soon. Please consider hitting that join button for just $1. If I get 10 subs after this video, my next video will be a complete review of all Terran Republic Araxian weapons. I'm going to leave you with just a little bit more raw Punisher play. But until next time, fellow Araxians, I will see you planetside.
Got them on their heels. That will make them think twice.